This short video will show you how to use contacts in New Stratus. It's very important as realtors that you have some type of database of all of your buyers, sellers, your entire sphere of influence. Stratus gives you a nice free option here with the contacts. It's nice also that you can upgrade to some other product in the future even if you start here, because all of it is able to be imported. So I'm just going to go right to my list of contacts here, and you'll see that I'm in the list view here, and if I had more information about it I could open up, and this particular buyer, I've got lots of details. I've got some notes on them, and I've got a lot of activity that I've tracked. I've even got a couple of old prospect matches that we're running for them. So it's very, very helpful. So let me show you how to add a new contact. We're going to put in a first and last name. And those are required, the first and the last name. You also have to put a source in here. How did they find you? Maybe it was a referral. And is it a buyer, a seller, or other? Maybe it's just a neighbor or someone like that. You can create custom groups also. I'll show you that in a moment. Alright, so this is a buyer I'm going to put in. And maybe all I have is his email address, and maybe I have his home phone. And you'll add more information. You can come back anytime and add more information. You have a section for financials. If you are doing any kind of a pre-qualification, you can put those details in here: monthly income, monthly debt. The next section down allows you to write notes. So what is this particular buyer looking for? They're looking in Huntington Village. They want to walk to Village. Maybe 3 bedrooms. Maybe a colonial or a cape. And they're looking in about the $575,000 range. Alright, so then you can keep all those notes here, even details like the name of the children or the dogs. Maybe they have 2 dogs, Bella and Casey. So you can refer back to some of these personal things. Maybe he was recently divorced and you want to be sensitive to that. So you want to have these notes so you don't have to rely on your memory. You can always look it up in your notes. Okay? Then down here, any kind of interaction you have with them would go into the activities. This is a great risk management tool, so that if you get into any kind of legal bind with this particular buyer or seller, you'll have all the details of how you interacted with them. So maybe today we just had we met, our first meeting, we'll call it, first meeting. And we had met, what did I say? We met, it was a referral, so maybe perhaps I met at a barbecue at Joan's house. There we go. And then if you wanted to follow up with a phone call, you could do that maybe in a couple of days. We'll do 3 days from now. We'll follow up with a call. Call to set appointments. So you can track every different interaction there. Okay? So this is really going to be a nice record for you about each of your buyers and sellers, and even just everybody you know. You want to have a database. It's very, very important. So I'm going to click on Save. And I've got now this one-page report. If I set up a prospect match for Joe Bell, I can also see it here. It will be connected through his prospect match. Now right now we're in the view of just a single contact, Joe Bell, but if I wanted to return to the list, I would just click on this icon that says List. Looks like an Excel spreadsheet. You have Add Contact right here. You have Manage Groups. We talked about that if you want to create more categories. So maybe you want to have a category just maybe for some old friends. All right, so we're going to create a new category. We're going to call it Old Friends and add it. And that way, if you wanted to just sort by a particular category, you can do that over here on the side. So you can just pull up anybody who's in your old friends list or anybody who's in your family list by pulling down on this search option right here. Okay? You can also look for MLS and LIBOR members here and for, offices as well. You can do a search for members and offices under contacts. So if we know the member's last name, we can just type it in here. Maybe the last name is Smith. Okay, and we can just open up the one we're looking for. We just come back to the list, view that one. There we go. And no photo for Alan, but I can look at his office information right here. And when I get to the office information, I can see the other agents that work there by clicking on Show Members. And it will go through each of the agents who works there. Okay? Notice your other options. You can print, you can download, you can import from Old Stratus. If you had contacts in Old Stratus that did not get pulled over when it was shut down or you didn't pull them over, you can do that here. You can upload contacts from another program to here, help, new window, log out, etc. One last thing I'd like to show you is if you'd like to print labels for your contacts, perhaps you want to send a holiday card or some kind of just a little postcard in the summertime, something like that. You're going to highlight those that you want. In this case, I'm going to send to everybody, and so I won't select anything and they'll all come in. I'm going to go to Print. I'm going to change this to Detail Views for all of my contacts. And under Form, I'm going to choose the Avery label that I like, 3 across. And let me just show you what that will look like. I don't have addresses for all of my contacts, but for the ones that I do, it gets pulled over here. Okay? And that's how simple it is to create labels for your prospect matches. It's just under Print. All of the information that you add to Stratus Contacts will be available to you in the Stratus app. The app for your iPhone, your iPad, your Android phone, or your Android tablet. You're just going to go to Menu, and you'll see Contacts there, and you can pull up all of the important details for your contacts right from your mobile devices. So thanks for joining our tutorial on contacts.